Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Wanted to get on here today and do another Forgotten Favorites and finish all those products I started in the last one. So I'm going to jump right into this, and I'm going to start with one I heard about, the YSL All Hours. This is a matte full cover foundation that is lovely. It is a kind of a skin-like matte. It's not overly matte, and then through the day it takes on a beautiful, as your oils come through, a beautiful luminosity, but doesn't get overly oily during the day. Nice glass bottle, a nice pump on it. And this is just one of those foundations I will always keep now. I cannot believe I forgot about it. I think I set this aside because there was kind of a little fuss about this having denatured alcohol, I think, as the second ingredient. But I don't use any of my foundations every day, and I don't have a problem with this. But it does, have alcohol as the second ingredient. I just don't use it every day, and I enjoy it a lot, and I will always keep this. I think I rediscovered this on Lisa D1's Yummy Foundations. That video about did me in. I think I bought about 10 of her foundations, and I believe this was one of those, and I'm so happy to have this back. It's just beautiful. And then my last foundation is this Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Cover Foundation. Cannot remember why I repurchased this, what made me repurchase this, but I'm so glad I did. This is one of my favorite full cover matte foundations. Great for travel in the little plastic container. Has a squeezy tube, has a little squeezy tube. I wear this in Fair Sand. Yes, Fair Sand, and it is just a nice full cover that doesn't look cakey, does not take much, but doesn't look cakey. I don't have to build this up because it is a nice full cover. Just a beautiful matte foundation. Every time I wear this, I walk by a mirror and go, what did I have on today? That's beautiful. I love my Tarte Amazonian. I'm so happy to have this back. Okay, next I'm going to do a couple of eyeshadow palettes. And the first one is the Jaclyn Hill. And y'all, I was going to use this today and forgot about it. That just proves my point. I always forget about this palette and how it's so huge. This is worth picking back up. If you already have this in your collection, I would pick it back up and try it. If you don't have it, it's still a great option for a purchase. It's still available, and this is one of my most beautiful palettes I own. And now I have really refallen in love with it because I love a shimmer on my lid. All of these shimmers up here, I will love. I have nothing but good to say about this palette. It is beautiful and pigmented, easy to blend out, not a lot of fallout. I love Morphe shadows, and this is at the top of my Morphe favorites. It is a warm palette, but you do have some cool options. I can't believe I haven't bought her new palette yet. I need to do that because this one is a classic that I need to not forget about. It's huge. I don't know how I forget about that. And it's white, but it's beautiful, and I will not be forgetting this again. I love it. I'm going to use that tomorrow. And then my next one is the Modern Renaissance. This is one of my most perfect palettes. Maybe, yeah, it's up at the top. It's got to be a top 5. They are just smooth, blendable. This started the whole red eyeshadow craze. But you can get cools with this, even though it looks really warm. It has a couple of cools. I don't know if that's cool, but it looks kind of cool. And that one, and then an abundance of warms. And the reds, okay, it looks like it has a lot of reds, but it's very nuanced. They each have their own charm. This one has some rust in it, so you don't go too orange, but you don't go too red. This one is just a true red. The Love Letter is so great. I have that in a Z palette on its own. Then if you really want to go warm, this orange, and then the shimmers. This one right here that I have my finger in is what I have on my lid. Beautiful. And then this one, no. And then this one I have over in the corners. I cannot say enough about this palette. I know I'm being dramatic, but it is worth the drama, y'all. It is pretty perfect, and I almost want to order a backup of it because I'm so scared they're going to quit making it. So I may back that up. It's beyond perfect. And then my last palette you can't get anymore, so I won't talk about it long. But if you have the Sultry, I just want to remind you of it because it is so beautiful. Even though it looks like just a normal palette. It's so beautiful with the Anastasia formula, and these beautiful shimmers are out of this world. It just looks so basic, but every time I pick it back up, I re-fall in love with it. So I recently saw this in a clean out with Glitzy Fritzy and Samantha March, pulled it back out and re-fell in love with it. It's not available, but if you already have it, or if it comes back in stock, yeah, just don't forget about your Sultry if you have that. It's beautiful. Okay, next, a lipstick. Okay, I heard about this from one of you girls a long time ago and loved it. This is Baddest Beige by Maybelline. I believe it's a cult classic. It sat here on my desk for forever. And I was going through things for a clean out, and I was like, what is that? Picked it back up and used it. I love this. It's almost like a gloss. It's so moisturizing. Hold on, I'm going to put a little bit of this on. Let me swatch it first. I'll show you the true color of it. It's so moisturizing. That is a beautiful, mellow, peachy, perfect nude that would not make me go too dead, which I am right now. So let's put a little bit of this on. I don't know that you can tell on my lips. It's too late for them today. They're already dead. Hang on, I'm going to add a liner. I will tell you, they don't look as dead in person as they do on camera. Okay, that helped. That was the MAC, absolutely it. And yeah, that is the Baddest Beige by Maybelline. It is so moisturizing. It literally feels like a gloss on my lips, but then it adds a beautiful color, and I'm so glad to remember this and be using it again. Okay, and then, y'all, this one I rediscovered after putting it down for 2.5 years. This was what I wore before YouTube. And I need to reorder it because I think this one's bad, but it is beautiful. And this is in Ferris Nude. Y'all, this was what I wore for about 5 to 10 years before YouTube. It was my only lipstick. And it is the perfect nude. It is perfection for every day. Just a beautiful peachy nude. And I love this. So I didn't use this for about 2 years. And again, going through lipsticks for a clean out, and I was like, do I just need to clean that out? No, I need to re-fall in love with it. It's beautiful. Okay, and then I have a brush, and that is the Real Techniques powder brush. This is the most perfect buffing brush. After I set my face, I have started spraying it with a setting spray because I saw Stephanie Marie do that on one of her videos. I love doing this. I set my makeup down, spray it with a setting spray to melt everything together, and then I, fan it dry, and then I get a fluffy brush. That's what made me rediscover this. And I go in with a finishing powder, like my Hourglass or my NYX HD. And this is just perfect for that. It's nice and loose, but still has a lot of bristles, and it just is perfect for buffing out the face. I'm using the Hourglass to buff with right now. And this just is a perfect brush for finishing. And this had gotten laid aside because I have other brushes I do love. I love my BK Beauty brushes. Love them. I love some Pat McGrath's. But this guy, I don't want to forget him. And I love this so much, I went looking for him, and I didn't find this exact brush, but I've ordered a new one that is very similar. I just know that you can really do that much better than Real Techniques. If you want to stay at the drugstore, this will not be a hardship for you. Okay, y'all, I'm back on another day because I realized I left out some very important forgotten favorites. I did all of the makeup, and I left off the skincare. I have 3 skincare items that I had laid down in the past and forgotten about, and have re-fallen in love with those. And the first one of those is the Hada Labo cleansing oil. This was, I think, the first cleansing oil I ever used, and I loved this. It was my holy grail until I picked up the Burt's Bees cleansing oil, and I fell in love with that one because of the scent. It has a very faint scent of citrusy honey, and I love that, and it's very thick and luxurious, and I still love it, but I couldn't get my hands on it one day, so I picked up the Hada Labo. And I love this too. This is very easy to get your hands on. It has no scent, and it's very inexpensive. So this one, I really, really love this, and I have replaced it. Even when I could find the Burt's Bees, this seems to be the one I'm picking up, and I have definitely re-fallen in love with it. So if you need a cleansing oil and you want one that's very inexpensive, this is a nice big bottle, and I think I paid $16 for it. So I love my Hada Labo, and so glad to have this back. I just replaced it with another one. Okay, the second one is this Clarins Lotion Toner. And this is for very dry skin. It's got aloe vera, no alcohol, extra comfort toning lotion. Now, I will tell you, this has a light scent that I find amazing. It's very light and very pleasant, but it is there if that bothers you. What I love about this, besides the scent, which I do love, is I love the consistency of this. It's almost thick like a essence. It is lovely. I put this on a cotton ball, and it's just a little bit thick. It doesn't soak in like a liquid. It kind of sits on top of the cotton for a minute before it soaks in, if that makes sense. It reminds me of this Pune Kang Yule essence. Now, the ingredients aren't the same, but I love the consistency of this. Hold on, I'm gonna like do a little. Okay, it looks thin, but it is a little bit thicker than most toners. And I just love it. It's got a nice slip to it. It moisturizes my skin, soothes it. I picked this back up when I got on my A313, my retinol. I find this very powerful. And even though it's emollient, it's drying in the long run. It dries my skin. This dries my skin as much as tretinoin did. So I pulled this back out, and I do love this. I usually do a thinner toner, like my Thayer's toner first. And then I do this, and then I follow with an essence. And this is just very soothing, very calming, very moisturizing, and I love it. Okay, and then my last skincare item I picked back up was this Ordinary Resveratrol. This is such a beautiful product, y'all. And I discovered this again with my A313 because my skin is drier now, because it leaves my skin drier. This is so beautiful. It's between a serum and like a lightweight oil. And it just leaves the most beautiful, do you see that? Radiance to the skin. I use this at night, but if you're real dry, and at my driest, I will use this in the morning. Almost like a radiant primer. And it is so moisturizing. And resveratrol is an antioxidant. I love how it makes my skin look and feel. It's just a very lightweight oil or a heavier serum. Leaves a beautiful luminosity on the face, and I love it. Okay, and that is all of my forgotten favorites. So anyway, y'all definitely down below, let me know any products that you are loving, because you know I want to pick those up and love them with you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave comments and questions down below, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good day. Bye.